There are several ways that you can increase your wealth. What if I told you one of the ways that you can do that is through debt? Now, debt in itself is not bad. It can be a bad servant or a good master. In the things that you use it for, that is what will determine whether it will be good or bad. The world over, global debt stands at over $300 trillion, and 69% of them is in private hands. So there's no shortage of debt around the world. So what is it doing? Is it helping people grow their wealth, or it is actually putting people into poverty, drowning them into poverty? Let's discuss what a good debt and a bad debt is. For the purpose of our definition and for the purpose of this discussion and channel, every kind of debt that puts money in your pocket or has the potential of giving you money in the future is a good debt. So you pick money today, you borrow money from someone, it can be from an individual or from an institution. You use it for something, that thing gives you money, you consider it as a good debt. Or you invest the money in yourself, you're not getting the returns now, that return will come in the future, you consider it as a good debt. And so, for example, you don't have a skill, you don't have money to learn the skill, you borrow money from your friend or an institution to fund that learning of a skill. It is an example of a good debt. Now, what is a bad debt? A bad debt, on the other hand, is money that you borrow, use, that does not add anything to you. In other hand, the value of the things you use the money for depreciates over time. So it means that it is making you worse and worse, whilst a good debt is making you better and better. So what example of a bad debt can we put our mind to? Anything that is not a need but is a want that you borrow money to finance that does not add to you can be considered as a bad debt. So for example, a phone can be a bad debt for one and a good debt for another. So let's say you need a phone. A basic phone can help you do all of your rounds and the things that you need a phone to do. But if you buy an expensive one and you don't have money to buy, but you borrow to buy it, but still use the functions just as you'd have done with the basic, then you can consider this as a bad debt. And so that is the definition that we want you to understand. Now, how can you use debt to your advantage? The first one is leverage. Now, understand that anytime you have an opportunity to do something, to do a transaction, to purchase a product, to sell an item, to deliver on a contract, that gives you, it has an opportunity to give you more than it can borrow. So let's say the cost of the item that you want to purchase is, say, 10 cedis or $10. And you need to borrow $5 or 5 cedis to be able to purchase that thing. If it costs you an extra dollar to purchase it, then it means that your total cost will be 6 cedis. You have a margin of 4 cedis. There's a leverage that we are talking about. And so anytime you borrow to buy something which you can consider an asset that increases in value, so that the cost of purchasing that thing is more than what you can get out of it, then it's a leverage that you need to take advantage of. So for example, as you said, let's say you have a contract and you need to buy something for an institution. It costs you 10 cedis. You are going to get 15 cedis. You don't have the money to do it. And so the natural thing is to find the money to go and buy this thing. So let's say you get the 10 cedis from someone. It costs you an extra 1 cedi to serve it. That's the cost of the fund. So in all, you are paying 11 cedis. You're going to get 15 cedis. And so without the loan, you couldn't have achieved and delivered on that contract, on that product, or on that service. And so you're making 4 cedis margin on it, which is the benefit that you get. And so once you are able to determine that what you're going to use the money for will always be bigger in terms of payout than what you are taking, then it's something that you need to consider. All other things considered. So that's the leverage aspect that we are talking about. One of the ways that you can also use to grow or to take advantage of debt is when you invest in yourself. Now, we talk about education, and this can be traditional or non-traditional, formal or non-formal. If you think that there's a deficit in your skill that you need to upgrade, you can get a loan to be able to fund that. Now, once you fund it, it's not going to give you an immediate income as you are funding because you need to go through the process. But you know that once you do that, you are going to earn, your potential to earn will be much higher. And once it is much higher, it means that you can easily cover it in a very short period of time. So, for instance, let's say you lack digital skills, or maybe you want to be an architecture or software developer, and you don't have that money to be able to pursue it. But you know that there's a clear opportunity. There are people who are looking for software developers, and you have seen it. You know the companies that are looking for them. And so you get a loan to be able to learn that skill, knowing that as you do that in a year, 6 months, whatever the period is, once you are done, you get the opportunity to be employed, and you can easily pay back that money. Know that you can easily pay back, but that skill stays with you for the rest of your life. So potential earning is unlimited. Investing in yourself is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And if it means that you need to borrow to be able to do it, go ahead and do it. But the caveat is that know what you are doing. It shouldn't be something that you are just trying off the cuff. It should be something that is tried and tested. You know that there's a need for it. You know that there's a market for it. But the means to do it is what is the issue. Once you're able to answer all of those questions, and the only thing that is stopping you from pursuing it is the money that will get you there, then if you get a chance to be able to borrow, to be able to fund that, please do it. The other thing that you can also do to take advantage of debt is when you're investing it in your business. You've already started the advice will be that if you are starting a business, you don't start with loans because you're not starting, even though you have the concept and ideas and you know what you want to do. Everything that you're about to experience is in theory. You're not about to start the practicals. And so it is good that you bootstrap and start with what the resources that you have. However, if there are clear opportunities that you've seen, these are things that cannot go wrong because let's say somebody is giving you a contract, for instance, again, you just need to deliver to get the money. And so it's not that you're not going to find the client. Such opportunities that come, you can use the leverage of loans to be able to fund that business activity so that once you finish it, you'll be able to pay back. Of course, as you're doing that for a business, know that whatever you're taking, there's a clear expectation, there's a clear projection of what you intend to make so that you can pay back. It's not like give me money to start a business, give me money, let me put it in my business, let me invest in my business. As and when it becomes good, then I'll pay back. No, that's not it. There has to be a clear guideline on what you're using the money for in the business, which you expect to generate a certain amount of revenue that can pay for the loan and also give you a decent profit. Another way you can take advantage of debt is when you know and have a clear repayment plan. So in this, before you go for a loan, ensure that you know exactly how the repayment is going to come about. There's not guesswork. It's not a time to be guessing and to say that, okay, if things goes well, I can get it from here or from there. Ensure that if it's a personal loan and you're a salary earner, you know that it's coming from your salary. If you're a business person, you know that it's coming from the proceeds of your business. If it's a contract you need to fulfill, you know that it's coming from the contract proceeds. Don't be playing guesswork and be saying in our local language, as we say, Nyamebetre or Nyambeno. Nyambetre is a town in Obuasi. You don't have to leave it to guesswork. And anytime you leave it to guesswork and things go south, that's when you find yourself in trouble. And to have that sense of how you're going to repay the loan, let it be clear to you in your mind so that as you go in for it, you know that this is how I can get out. Another way you can also take advantage of debt is to ensure that you pay your debt on time. You get money which is not yours to do whatever you have to do and pay back. Your ability to pay back will ensure that the next time you're going for it, you can also get the same loan. So ensure that anytime you take a loan, you can pay back.